Very good.
Yeah, so let me start. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to MuleSoft Mysore Meetup group. So today is going to be the last meetup for 2023. So thank you for joining today and showing up your support throughout the year. So today you are going to have me and Pratik here as a speaker, and we are going to talk about everything about Anypoint Code Builder, and we are also going to showcase a demo as part of it. So before that, let me introduce you all to the organizer of Mysore Meetup. So we have Shubham here. He's a ambassador, a meetup leader, mentor, and speaker. He's currently working with Millennium as a professional integration developer, and his expertise lies in MuleSoft area. Then we have Giridhar here. He's also a MuleSoft ambassador, meetup leader, and mentor. He's currently working with Hashden as a technology architect with almost 14 years of experience, and he is expert in MuleSoft and there is one Bistock, yeah, Bistock area as well. Okay. Here I am, Priya Shah, and I'm currently working with LTI Mindtree as a senior software specialist, and I'm also a meetup leader, mentor, and speaker. And I have majorly worked on integration stack and MuleSoft. So now, for your information, the session will be recorded for your future reference, so you can check out our YouTube page or Mysore Meetup group page. Okay, for your future reference. And this session is meant for learning purpose, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions anytime, or you can also put your question to the chat box. Now it's time to know your speaker. So now you have already known me. Pratik, can you give your introduction?
Sure. So, hi everyone. I'm a MuleSoft tech leader in Millennium, and I'm an architect for Roche, which is my client. And I've been working in this technology, MuleSoft, for more than 7 years now. Started my journey with MuleSoft 3.5, and uh, yes, that's all about me.
Yeah, so now yeah, we can get started with today's topic, that is Anypoint Code Builder. So first, let's start knowing what is Anypoint Code Builder. So Anypoint Code Builder is a MuleSoft next generation IDE for developing your APIs and integration. Okay, so with Anypoint Code Builder, MuleSoft has brought a lot of changes, and the major game changing thing is that they are shifting their entire infrastructure of Anypoint platform and Anypoint Studio to VS Code. Yes, so VS Code is really a code editing tool, and it is very popular and is being widely used among many developers. So the main idea behind choosing VS Code as their IDE is that they they wanted to bring all the developers basically to the same area where they belong. Okay, so can someone mute yourself? I'm getting some noise. Pratik. Yeah. So they wanted to move entire thing to VS Code. Okay, so VS Code is already is being widely used among the developers, and if you have already used VS Code, you already know how much powerful tool it is actually. So with VS Code, you can do a lot of things. You can connect to a database and for query operation. You can connect to source code repository and do all your Git related activities, and then you can also trigger APIs via the VS Code. So VS Code basically provides a lot of functionality, features, and it also provides tons of extensions which you can then make use of it, and it also provides a lot of snippets into your code. And not only that, with VS Code you can also customize your own tool as you wish. So you can have your own font, own appearance, you can choose your own keyboard shortcut configured as well, right? So with the Anypoint platform, basically MuleSoft is trying to consolidate everything to give a very clear experience through one tool itself, that is VS Code. Okay, so earlier what used to happen is we used to design our API specification and design center, and we used to publish it to the exchange. But now we can do all the activity in Anypoint Code Builder. So we can design, develop, implement, and debug, deploy everything from Anypoint Code Builder itself. Okay. So yeah, there is one more thing, that is AI for Anypoint Code Builder. So we have Einstein for ACB. okay, which is going to make our life even more easier by generating a flow itself, using generating flow. So when we like basically give our command using natural language, okay, it is going to generate a flow for us, and from there we can generally start our development from that XML itself. Okay, we'll see that in later session. Okay, so if you talk about Anypoint Code Builder lifecycle, so yeah, as part of Anypoint Code Builder lifecycle, we can design, implement everything as part of the ACB journey itself. Okay, so Anypoint Code Builder is basically available in two different versions. Okay, one is Anypoint Code Builder in cloud version, and other one is desktop version. So ACB for desktop is already live, and you can make use of it. And this ACB for cloud is currently in beta version, but it is still available for you to use. Okay, so as you know, like your like previous like Anypoint Studio is basically built on Eclipse, but this ACB with cloud is basically now going to is basically built on Salesforce Cloud Builder. Okay, and this ACB is for desktop is basically available as an extension. Okay, which you can make use of it. Okay, so now if you have not already explored Anypoint Code Builder, let me help you getting started with this. Okay, so I'm going to show you basically how you can start and install and start using this Anypoint Code Builder. So first of all is like you have to log into Anypoint platform. Okay, so if you don't have account, you can sign up and create one, and it has expiry of 30 days. So for till 30 days, you can make use of it. Okay. So let me sign in. So the moment you will sign in, you can see Anypoint Code Builder tab is already present here. So we can click on it, click on the Get Started button. So it will land here, and you can see both the two options available here. So if you want to make use of Anypoint Code Builder for desktop, so the prerequisite is like you need to have your VS Code, like Visual Studio Code already installed, Git already installed. Okay. Um, uh, so if we click on install button here, you can see it is giving this Anypoint extension pack as an extension to install. So this is the prerequisite which I already mentioned. Okay, so if we click on the install button, it is asking to redirect it to the Visual Studio Code. So there are two ways you can make like install this to. One is directly clicking on the install button from here, and the other option is like from the VS Code, you can go to this extension button, okay, and type Anypoint extension pack, okay, and you can click install button from here itself. So if you'll see, like this extension pack is basically bundled with 7 different extensions. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are installing this right package, that is Anypoint extension pack, instead of installing one by one everything. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me click on this install button and let it redirect to the VS Code. So I'll click on install button. So it will take some minutes, okay, to install all the extension. Okay, so once this installation is completed, I'll go to the next part of it. It depends upon your network strength. It might take several minutes to install. Okay, by that time I'll show you like how we can make use of Anypoint Cloud Builder for cloud version as well. So in case of cloud version, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to install anything. Okay, so everything whatever you needed will be set up by the MuleSoft itself. Okay, so here you are seeing it is preparing basically your cloud IDE to make use of it. Okay, and both like this cloud version as well as your desktop version, everything is going to be same if you talk about appearance or how we are going to make use of it. So in everything will look alike itself. Okay, so let me show you this. So it is basically installing. Okay, so once that is done, I will show you like what all the other stuff which you'll have to do with here it is already installed. Okay, so the moment it is installed, you can see mention called Anypoint Code Builder icon available here. So if you click on it, it is basically showing what are the Anypoint life cycles. So it is saying to first design your API, then implement your API, and then develop an integration with it. Okay. So all these three are quickly available on your home screen itself. Okay. Now, the moment you are done with it, you'll see you are not logged into the Anypoint platform icon here. So first thing is you need to first log into your Anypoint platform account so that you can use it without any hassle. Okay. So as I have already logged in my browser, so you can see it is now logged in here itself. Okay. Now, a few things just to show you that if you go to the view option, right, it is now giving you a command palette options from where basically several MuleSoft operation you will be able to see if I type MuleSoft, right? So all this you can directly make use of it directly from this command palette by clicking on view button, or you can also click Control Shift P and make use of it. Okay. Now, if I type MuleSoft home or let me do Control Shift P and sorry, yeah. So yeah, if you see here, open ACB settings. So if you want to make some changes to the setting also, you can click on this button. Okay. So the moment you'll open the setting, you'll be able to see this is a place, runtime environment place where you can pass your arguments, runtime, basically runtime arguments like your environments, okay, or your secret codes, etc. from this parameter. Okay. And then you can also configure your group ID. You can see basically where is your mule runtime installed and what is its directory, and then where is your control plane located, and if you want to change, you can change it from here itself. Okay. Now that's all about the toolkit. Later, like Pratik will be showing you the demo on this tool itself. Okay. Now, coming to the slide. Okay. uh, yeah. So we just saw like how we are going to set up our Anypoint Code Builder kit. So once you'll start your development, right, you'll be able to see now two of the perspective is available here. So both your GUI perspective and your XML perspective both will be available side by side. So either you can open both the tab and make you can drag and drop your connectors, or you can directly make changes to the application on the right hand side. Okay, and if you want, you can close one itself. And here if you see, there is one button, okay, pilot kind of button, which is basically to deploy your applications to cloud hub. Okay. And rest, like if you talk about feature wise or how it used to be in studio, everything is going to be same only here as well. Okay. So you remember, right? We installed Anypoint extension pack as part of and setting up our ACB in VS Code. So all these API extensions are very important because one of this API extension is basically use and allow you to create RAML and publish it to the design center. Then API extension is basically used to provide support for scan folding a Mule application, and then we have an integration extension which enables you to develop Mule application. And then we have platform extension for providing all the platform related capabilities. Then dependencies, add the dependencies, okay, directly. And then we have data wave extension which provides support to write data wave. Okay. And then at the end we have mule runtime extension which basically provides you a mule runtime environment to deploy your applications. Okay. So you have to you just cannot install two three extensions and expect this ACB to work. So it has to be entire extension pack with all the seven extensions already included. Okay. So now let's talk about what is new in Anypoint Code Builder. Okay. So as I already mentioned, everything is same as we used to have in our Anypoint Studio. It's just like here we have a graphical flow editor which is open in two different sections. One is in GUI section and other one is XML section. And then yeah, we have a new command palette section where we can basically make use of shortcuts using Control Shift P and perform our operations, like if you want to publish it to your specifications to Exchange, or if you want to create API specification from design centers. All those shortcuts will be available in the command palette. Then we have a API designer which you can directly design from the tool itself instead of going to the design center. And then yeah, we can mock our testing our API specification as well. And more like one more interesting feature that is available here is that you can basically you can basically start implementing your APIs without even completing your design phase. And you can also mock your service and test how it is working. And once your application is ready, you can publish your API specifications. Okay. Then we have snippets here. Okay, so a snippet is basically a reusable piece of code which you can make use in your design phase. So suppose you have one logger, okay, which you're going to make use a lot of time. So instead of adding and writing those things again and again, what you can do is like you can add your own defined snippet within the code. So Pratik will be showing how we can make use of it, okay, in our later session. And then obviously data wave functionality is already available like earlier, okay, and it provides preview options as well. Okay, so yeah, with Anypoint Code Builder, okay, we can design, develop, and deploy our application, and it is already live. Okay, for desktop, it is already live. Okay, so yeah, when we are designing an API, it still support RAML in OS specification. Okay, we can still write using RAML or OS whatever we wish like. Okay, and then we can generally create our API specification like this, right? So same way we will be creating our API specification, and it will also generate or like interactive documentation for us, and we can test our API specification in the same in the same way like how we used to do. But that is all now from VS Code. Okay. And while developing, the second phase, that is implementing an API, is also very easily available here, and we can implement our API specification importing the RAML directly from the design center. Okay, and obviously we can build, debug, run everything from VS Code itself. Then last phase is that implementation, okay, where we integration, where we can basically integrate with any of the third party tools like or softwares, that is Salesforce, your file systems. Okay, all of this integration is very easily possible in the VS Code itself. Okay, and here you'll see like you can directly drag and drop your connectors or make changes to the XML directly. Okay, so now next is our like AI. Okay, so as you know, like Einstein is there for Anypoint Code Builder to generate your flow. Okay, it is not it is still in pilot phase. Okay, and we cannot make use of it. It requires a special permission. Okay, you can contact your organization to get access of it. So with Einstein, you can basically like using a secure mechanism, you can basically create your flow in a very productive and efficient way. Okay, uh, so this is the generative flow I'm talking about, where just when using the natural language processor, this generative flow is basically going to give solution to your need. Okay, so you can provide what kind of solution you're looking for, so it will basically give you a XML from where you can directly implement your flow. Okay, so now that's like all about theoretical aspects of Anypoint Code Builder. Now I would like Pratik, to show the same into action using the demo. So
Sure.
if you have any questions, you can ask me, or we can directly jump to the demo part. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Priya. Uh, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Uh, so this is the Visual Code, Visual Studio that Priya was talking about. And if you see here, this is a place where we install the extensions. But if I just make it wider, you can see all these things are already installed for me. I've already installed it, and thus I can see Anypoint Code Builder option over here. Here I can, as you see, there are three options: design an API, implement an API, develop an integration. So I'll actually go through all of these three, and also the how to build the code snippet here, which is a new thing actually for us. So you can always click here and start designing an API, or you can go here and write MuleSoft, and you get all the options. So let's go to design an API. Okay, so if you're not signed in, obviously it will ask you to sign in, and This is my default browser. So now you see I got logged in. Here, it's very similar to the API manager. You won't find a lot of differences over here. The only thing is that we are not going to the Anypoint platform to design it. Rather, we are doing it directly in our local, in our Visual Studio. So let's name it Employee Sys API, and just create project. That's all. So I think if you have seen, there was also an option to create the API fragment, which I'm obviously not going to create as of now, but you can create the fragments here. Okay. So as you see, it created a basic template for me. It has exchange.json, which has the name, the technical name, and the user-friendly name, then the group ID, asset ID, version, classified that it is a RAML, and descriptor version that is 100. So all the metadata is present over here. And here is our API. So all the title is already, as you can see, title is already present over here. And it will give you the suggestions, like if I write base, and see, it will give you base URI. So I can write HTTP localhost 081 slash employee. Okay, so that we can do. I mean, anything else, like maybe version, or you can just directly paste control and space, and then it will give you all the options. So you see version is the option over here. So I can write v1. I have the RAML prepared already, not to waste a lot of time in this part. So I'll just copy paste the RAML. So okay, I think in the base URI, I don't need this, or we can have it as well. It's perfectly fine, actually. I can just write the version. So yeah, here is our RAML file, and so as soon as your RAML is complete, you will, as soon as you are writing your RAML and it reaches to some point, so you'll always have the API console ready. So it is obviously very similar to the API manager, because Design Center, because in the Design Center also we were getting the API console similar, and we were also getting the suggestions as we are getting over here. So we can test if you want. So like maybe let's first try get employee, and it shows us everything according to our RAML. So it shows us the responses, it shows us what are the query parameters, the examples. Yeah. So if I go and try it, I can first, let's go for localhost. Anyway, it's localhost. Okay. Sorry. So yeah. So if I write any employee ID, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and employee status A, that is active. So I'm getting this error that HTTP request could not be made, because in reality, I have not deployed it to my local on the port 8081. So I'll be using mocking service, and then I'll making request again to get the mock response. And here is my mock response. As you can see, employee ID, employee name, and employee status. So we can try something else as well. So if I want to go to like maybe create employee, so there's a post method. Okay, I can just try it. So this is the body already here. I'm trying with the mocking service. I will send it. Okay. Okay. So you see, I'm getting this status 200 and the message as success, but some weird characters. So I think how we can correct is that if we see here in the responses, the double quotes, since I copied from the notepad, um, uh, it took some other format. So now if I just do it, I should get success. Okay, so this is done. And now I'll show you if we can deploy it um, uh, to the exchange or not. So from directly from here. So let me first show you my account. So this is my account. If I go to, sorry, just I think I logged out. Okay, okay, it's the correct account. So yeah, let me go to exchange. So if I go to the root MuleSoft, you go on. There's no asset here as of now, and oh, it's this one is here. I can just delete it. Oh, sorry. It got created just now. So since I was creating over here, it got created here as well. So we'll go back to Exchange and then I'll do the publish. So first I show you. Yeah. So there is an option. You can implement this local API. So without even publishing to Exchange, if you want, you can implement this API here itself. And then publish API specification to Exchange. So I'll go for this option. So it will give me an error that I need to post the message. I have uncommitted changes. I need to post them before I publish it. So I'll go and I'll do commit. Sorry.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, like we need Git as well, right, as a prerequisite for using a Dextra version of it. The main reason behind it is like whenever we want to publish our specification to, to Exchange, first we need to commit our API specification. So in the left hand side, you will see one Git icon already present having a button as one. So it has one changes to commit. So Pratik, if you click on this Git icon in the left hand side, having written one as a commit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we
exactly.
need to
So,
provide the way we basically commit our changes to any source code repository tool, right? In the same way, we'll be providing comment, what commit we are
mm,
going to do, and then we'll click on commit and push.
mm.
So once this activity is done, if we click on
So
commit
the
and push
commit and
button,
push. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
committing. I'll do the commit and push to the master branch. And
yes.
yeah, now if I try to do it again, that is publish it to the exchange, I'll be able to do so. So publish API specification to exchange, and it asks me the name. So I'll say, okay, I'll go ahead with the employee sys API name, and then the artifact ID. Okay, I go with the employee sys API, and then the asset version, which is 100. I accept it, and then the API version. So you can always change things here if you want, and see it is publishing it to the exchange now. So once
Yeah.
it says that it is published to exchange, we can go and check in the exchange if it is there present there or already or not.
Mhm.
So okay, let's go and see.
Um, I think Saurav have one question here.
Yeah,
What
sure.
is the different privileges ACB is providing over traditional tool? So yeah, like as you saw, right, it is giving the entire experience of design, development, deploy, debugging, everything in the same, under the same roof. That is our Visual Studio Code, first part, and second part is like it is providing a, generative flow implementation as well. So in later version, like we are going to see Einstein for ACB as well, where you can generate your uh, mm, flow using natural language process. You don't have to start your development from the scratch. You can just provide your command through your natural language processing, and it is going to generate a flow, and from there you can start your implementation. Okay, so that gives you basically a more confidence over it when you're not sure how to start and which all component to choose. Third point is that obviously you are getting an iterative scaffolding feature, which allows you to develop your API without even publishing your API specification to Exchange. Okay, so you can just start implementing with your locally generated RAML specification itself. Okay, other thing is your feature of snippet, as I talked about. So with snippet, you can basically keep your reusable component inside a snippet, and you can make use of it again and again in your development process. So being a developer, whatever feels comfortable, you can keep it as your reusable code into the snippet. Okay, and yeah, REST features are almost same only. uh, okay, can we use any other version of control tool? Yeah, so whatever extension, so VS Code provides tons of extension. Okay, so generally we make use of Git. So if you find any other extension which is related to perform this source code management activities, you can make use of that. So if VS Code provide that extension, you can actually install it. Okay, and make use of the same operation from there itself. Do we have need to Git repository creator? No. So for publishing this thing, right? For publishing your API specification to Exchange, we don't have to have our Git, like our own Git created. Okay, it's so as you saw, right, we have installed several extensions. So one of the extension was related to publishing your API specification to Exchange. So everything is already set up by the MuleSoft itself through the extension. You don't have to do anything. In fact, if you remember, while using Anypoint Studio, we used to, do our local setup for Java. We used to set up a local not. We used to set up our environment variables, but now we don't even have to do those activities. So everything will be pre-configured just with this extension.
That's right.
Okay. Now, yeah, we can move ahead.
Yeah. It might ask you again and again to install a Java, and if I tried both before without installing the Java extension and after installing the Java extension, the code the integration works really fine. I tried writing the code without Java extension, and it was working really seamlessly. So there's no, as of now, I'll develop an integration in a while, and there's no Java extension for me as of now. I mean, I uninstalled it yesterday itself. So you see, it is published to Exchange, and as soon as it is published, we get the option again that would you like to implement the employee system API? If I say yes, cool. It will just create the project for me using this RAML. It will have it will scaffold the flows according to the RAML. And if I press no, which I'm going to do now, uh, then it will just stop here. So let's go to the Exchange and try to do a refresh. Yeah, so you see the employee system API is here, and it has this create employee, update employee, get employee. Okay, so you can see it's exactly the same thing. We have here mocking service. If I send, I should get a response. Okay, so things are working. So you see, initially when I didn't had not committed my RAML file from the Visual Code Studio, and I came here in the Design Center, it was empty, right? It was only this thing, the raml version and the title, because so as soon as I created inside Visual Studio, a raml got created in the design center as well at the same instant. And as soon as I was making changes were not really reflecting over here. However, as soon as I did a commit, you see the same exact same. I mean, I committed to the master branch, if you recall. So here I did a commit to the master branch, and you see in the master branch we have the same code over here. So yeah, so actually I can say this is much better than the Anypoint Studio in this case, because you don't really need to go to the Anypoint platform for writing the raml and creating a flow. Now what I'll do is I'll show you how to get implement an API specification. So I'll click on implement an API specification over here, and then I'll write the name employee sys API again, employee sys API, and then here I'll search my asset, that is employee, and let's see if I get the option or not. So employee system API, this is MuleSoft. This one, you see, it's our asset, and it was deployed on December 23rd, which is today. So I'll click on this, add asset. Okay, so I have selected my asset, and I'll do the create project. So you see here, you'll get all the updates over here that what's happening. So one major thing that I found is much more better in the Visual Studio compared to the Anypoint Studio is that many times the Anypoint Studio becomes really slow, right? Till now, I tried to develop many integrations over here, and I found no such issue till now. So I can say that it's much more smoother, and I can say it's smooth. I'm not saying that it's far better than the Anypoint Studio. Well, it will need some more time to be matured enough, but yeah. So, oh, okay. So it is installing the extension pack of Java. I just clicked on it. I just wanted to show you that you always get an option over here. So, okay. So it's generating the flow. Let's close this one. See, it's installed. I mean, that's not really required. Okay, so you see the code got created automatically as it works in the studio also, that if we create a project using the API specification, so we go get the code like this. And as of now, it is written unknown, but soon it will show that it is a HTTP listener. And you see the handling is also implemented, as per the raml. And you can always go to the flow list over here and click on it, and you will see all the flows that has been generated. So we have one flow for delete, one flow for API console. So let me click on it. So you see API console is here. Again, if I click on flow list, we have get. So obviously there is no actual code. It's data which will just have hard-coded values. So as it happens in the normal Anypoint Studio. And post. So post flow is here, and then our put flow. So put, it should have response 200 success. Okay. So okay, this is done. Also, I wanted to show you that we can develop an we can develop an integration directly without writing a raml as well. So I'll go ahead and create one. So yeah, here it is. MuleSoft. Develop an integration. Okay, it's at the top. So as soon as I click on it, a new project will get created. So let me name it create SF account object ACB demo. Okay, so or maybe just remove this. So, I would like to create the project now. So you see, as soon as I created the project, we have the structure ready over here. And you can notice that the code structure is not different from what we have in the regular studio. So, I mean, if the regular studio code, if you go, you see SRC main mule, SRC main Java, SRC main resources, and similar thing we'll get over here. So the structure is not changing. We have the same folder structure. We have unit, we have resources, and the main file got already create sf account object.xml. That is the main file. And yeah, you see slowly it is downloading the connectors. It is getting some dependencies from the maven. So everything it is loading now, and we can start working on this, I think. So yeah. So as soon as it will get this option, build a flow and build a subflow. Okay, so I'm going with it with build a flow option. So yeah, you see, as soon as I clicked on build a flow, I got a flow over here. I can name it as I want. So create SF account object. Okay, so this is the flow that I have just created. So here there are two modes. You can directly write in the XML, yeah, or else if you choose, if you want, you can click on the plus sign and work like this, HTTP, and I see I can just click on it, and the listener is here. Okay, and I can do the same by writing like this, HTTP, or not even that. I just write HTTP, and you see all the suggestions are coming over here automatically. So this is a HTTP listener. This is and this one is a snippet actually. So we have the option of code snippet over here, which is obviously very good option. So let me delete this thing. I'll show you how to get a snippet. So if I click on plus, we have the options of core processes, where you see you have batch, you have the components like this, transaction, logger, invalid key, invalid cache, all the components are over here, error handling. Then we have flow control. We have scopes over here, and then transformer, set payload, set variable, remove variable. Then we have scheduler. If I go back, then we have connectors, API kit connector. There is a version where you can change the version, database, email. And if you want to get some connector from the exchange, you can click here. As you can see, there is a sign of exchange. So you can go here and maybe just write something random, maybe Amazon. So it will give you all the Amazon connectors like S3 and so it is searching for the connectors with this name, Amazon. Let's see. So see, S3 connector, SQS, SNS. Oh, okay. And then now MongoDB connector. I don't know why it is giving me MongoDB connector, but yeah. So as soon as I search with Amazon, I'll get all the connectors. So you can, I mean, very easily get the connector here, and it doesn't really take a lot of time. So you can write HTTP over here as I showed you and get the normal listener. So this is the listener config. So yeah, now I'll tell you what is the snippet. So there is third thing. So we have code processors, we have connectors. We just have the connectors and code processor. We have everything, like we have the scopes, different scopes. We have everything else in the everything else present in the code processor. But if I go to a snippet, this is a new concept. So there are two kinds of a snippet, that is user snippet and the built-in snippet. So the user snippet, as you see, I have already created two of the snippets. So this is the code snippet which you can create. And once you create this snippet, you can reuse among different projects of yours. So as many integration as you develop, you can always go ahead and use any user snippet. Then we have built-in snippets. In the built-in snippets, these are the snippets which are already provided by this MuleSoft. And again, you have option to search in the exchange here. So let's go and so let me just get suppose Salesforce query, for example. I'll click on it, and you see the Salesforce query is coming over here, and it is coming with a code snippet. So it has some select query over here, which is obviously not complete. You can complete it, and um, um, and there it is also giving you what are the parameters you need to pass. Um, so so this is how you can use a snippet, which is much better than the connector, I'll say directly. I mean, you can use a code snippet to save your time. One interesting thing and the difference that you will find between the Anypoint Studio and this Visual Studio is that here the doc ID is hexadecimal. It is not the long string like a UUID as we were having it in the Anypoint Studio. So it's just hexadecimal, and it is like the 6 digit always. So it has 6 alphabets. So I'll delete this query because I don't really need to do a massive query. I'll show you now how to create a snippet. So let me show you how I have done it already. So if I click on anyone, doesn't really matter. Oh, well, it opens one. So just a minute. If I go to a snippet, then user snippet, and if I click on plus sign, you can create a user snippet. But remember that it's just one file. It's not like different file for each of the snippets. If I click on the plus sign, you see 2 of my snippets, log a message and Salesforce create account. Both are present over here. So it's just a JSON of the it's just a JSON file, and it's really simple to code. So you can see how I've what is this? So whatever you write here, like I have written Salesforce create account. So here it is showing Salesforce create account. If I make like account object, if I make it like this, and I save it. So maybe I need to just go again, snippets, user snippets. See, you see the change is reflecting over here. So, and again, I'll do the plus sign to come to the mule xml.json. And it's very simple yeah, prefix. What is prefix? So I have written here Salesforce create. So as soon as someone will write like SALES, so write sales or maybe S and then press control space for the suggestion, this suggestion will automatically come up in the XML part. So let me quickly show you. I'll delete this also. I don't really need it. So if I write control space, so you see Salesforce create is already coming up. So whatever you see is this white box with a dotted line at the bottom. This one is the user snippet. I mean, the snippet that you created yourself. And the others, which are the obviously purple cuboids, those icons, those are the snippets which were developed by MuleSoft. I mean, those are your built-in snippets. So what I wanted to show you was, if I write Salesforce create, it will give me the suggestions. Salesforce create. I click on it, and you see my code is coming over here. And you see, notice that there is the doc ID is here. It is a long string because I have used UUID here in the doc ID section instead of using this hex, which is being used by the Visual Studio. So I can just copy it. Let's prepare one more. Let's name it maybe what? I don't know what to name it, but yeah, I can show you maybe if I have some code over here. Okay. Okay, let's try to prepare a listener. So just you can copy your code and then go here There are 3 lines of code, as you see. It's separated by commas for the next line, and it's and the indentation, as the indentation you will keep here, same it will come in your code. So if I take an example, let me show you one thing. If I remove this indentation over here, I'll save it. Let me delete this, and yeah, Salesforce create. You see the indentation is gone. So while creating it, keep in mind that you have to, though it is a string, you need to keep in mind about the indentation. So let's create one more. I'll just copy paste this line, HTTP listener line. I don't need the other 2 lines over here. And yeah, and the doc ID, I'll delete the doc ID. And yeah, here it is. I see some errors coming over here, and there is a legitimate reason why we are getting the error, because it's a full string and we should not be using double quotes over here. Instead, we can use the single quotes and resolve this issue. Yeah, and I'll save. Oh, okay, I need to write the correct description. I've written wrong here as well. So it's more like documentation. So create Salesforce account object. Yeah, because I have already fixed the type as account over here, and here write HTTP. No, wait. Okay, and then it should be HTTP listener, and I'll rename it HTTP listener. Maybe I'll write create also, so to differentiate between that. It's mine. Okay, done. So I'll just save the file with Control S, and I can close it. I can wish to close it, and if I come here, or maybe I'll just go with Control Space, because this is much better. And you see the top suggestion we are getting this. So I get a HTTP listener create. So it's already here. The configuration reference is already also given here, so it will save some of my time. Okay, so let's just quickly create the flow. So what I need is HTTP listener config. So HTTP listener config, I'll click here. It is again a code snippet, but it's a built-in one. So yeah, so I'll name it config, and here so I'm pressing Control Space and nothing else, and it is giving me this code over here. Have I done any mistake? Yeah, I did a mistake. I deleted the flow, so I was getting an error. And the name should be okay. Config ref. I should give it a proper name. Now the error should be gone. Okay, this must be end by a matching tag name. What's the error now? Let me see if I've done any mistake. No, I think it's pretty clean. config create doc name and doc ID. Listen to it. I think it's just some misleading message maybe, and then I'll go for a logger. So maybe let me try with my log, and I'll put a message over here that creating Salesforce account object is the message, and yeah, it's done. So it's again, we are just using the code snippets if you see, and then after the logger, let's maybe just put the Salesforce create. So I'll again use my snippet here. So it's the type is account, and the configuration is ref is, it is giving error because I have not yet defined the configuration ref for Salesforce config here, the doc name, and yes. So I'll quickly create one configuration reference for it, and see, I'll do like sales, no, not like this. So yeah, we have a code snippet over here also, and here built-in one. So let's go with the built-in one, and I'll name it accordingly. Salesforce config, and here it is control space. So yeah, that's the thing, that I press the control space and I need to choose what kind of Salesforce configuration I need to do, like basic connection, config with OAuth connection, JWT connection, OAuth user password connection, or a SAML connection. So I'll, for this use case, I'm going with a basic connection. Here in the username, I'll make it like dollar, and then I've already kept my secure property, so I'll just do secure, and then assuming that I'm going to create a folder, properties, then backslash and dev secure.yaml. I mean, we can pass the environment name dynamically. However, in order to save time, I'm just hard coding the things. Oh, sorry, I don't really need to do this. I need to just pass the property name. So it should be sf.username. And here I'll pass dollar secure sf dot password, and then I also need to pass the token. So let's see if give me suggestion. Token down, and if I write T, no, I don't see the option. So sometimes you may face this, that you don't get a suggestion. So token is equal to just like this, dollar secure sf dot token, and I'll get error because we don't have configured anything else. So let me do one more thing. I'll create a file. So how we can create a file? I click on Mule in order to create a file over here, and click on the new file plus sign, and I'll write global.xml. Okay, and the global.xml, I'll just copy paste my code. I just want to save some time here. So you see, nothing I've done more than this a secure properties configuration over here. Or I mean, if you want to do it again, I can do it. So it's pretty simple. I'll do secure properties configuration. It's already built in. I need to give the file name. So file name will be properties -dev secure.yaml, and then the key I will copy paste, and name yeah. So key I need to first copy paste. Key is, where is the key? Yeah, here it is. A name can be secure properties config like this. So I'll just copy paste. And see, by default, the algorithm, if I don't specify the algorithm, it is by default it is AES and CBC. But if I want to define it, I'll just define it really quickly. So first of all, let's close this tag and then start working on this one. Algorithm and then mode. Okay, yes, CBC. Yeah, I'm just mistaken it. Yes, and then it should be CBC. Okay, so this one is done. But let me show you one more thing. If I write secure and if I go with this, you see all the code that I wrote here is already present. So that's the beauty of using the code snippet instead of writing the code yourself. So I'll quickly prepare a folder over here. So I'll click on resources and then I go here, new folder, and name it properties. And then inside the properties, I'll click on the properties to create a file. I'll name it devsecure.yaml. Okay, so the YAML file is here. I just need to copy paste my values. So these are my connection details which are encrypted. SF username, password, and token. Global.xml is still getting some error. Let me try to understand. Encrypt must be terminated by. Oh, okay. Now it's good. So yeah, it gives proper error message. So we can see that. And then coming back to the main flow, you see there is an option to test the connection. So we can test the connection. Let's see. Yesterday, my test connection was not working in the evening. In the morning, it was working. So I don't know what happened yesterday, but let's see. I mean, the code was working.
Pratik, we have one question.
Yeah,
Bhavik, time if you can take it. So,
sure.
first thing is like someone. One second. Yeah. So Arav is like asking if you can just show how we can debug the things. Okay. So you can just show
We can
like how
debug.
you
Yes,
can
yes.
add.
I'm going to show it just after creating this flow. It's almost complete. So you see, I'm getting this issue. But anyway, if I run the code or debug the code, it will work. So
Mhm.
yeah. So then I'm creating, and then let me just log. So I'll put a logger instead of logger. Let me do something else. Like there is one logger. Oh, sorry. I mean, sales. We cannot log the Salesforce object which comes from the Salesforce, right? So instead, I'll just use a transform. So transform with output JSON. It's again a code snippet. If you see there. So what it will do is whatever output is coming from the Salesforce create, it will convert it to a JSON. However, I don't need to note this mapping. I'll simply write like payload, and it will give me this transform message. And yeah, if you want, like you can have another log at the end. What's happening? Uh, objects created. Okay, and then yeah, it's done. Salesforce connection is giving me some error. I don't really know what. So if I look at my file, SF username, password, and token all are present. So if user, password, and token, and then yeah, I've also defined the global XML. It is AES properties, diff secure. I don't know why it is showing me an error over there, but let me see if debug is possible now. So I've saved my code and maybe I'm missing something. Just give me a while. Uh, Basic connection, username, password, and token. I think it should be good. It should be fine. Um, Attribute token is not allowed to appear in element basic connection. Oh, I mean, yesterday I did it. So, oh, it's security token. It's not token. Sorry, my bad. Let me just press Control Space. Security token. That's why I was not getting it. Okay, that's cool. Just no, it should be good. Okay. Okay, to debug first, let's put the debug point. So there is one thing that I'll show is that you cannot really put the debug points here. I mean, I tried to find some option to put a debug point on the connectors and the graphical view. I don't really find it. If you, I hope you find it and maybe show it in some next demo. So in the next meetup, so you can put the debug point. So let me first put one over the HTTP listener, or maybe just not over the HTTP listener, but the logger. Then I'll put one. So it's simple, like it's more like a notepad plus plus. You just click on it and the debug point is there. You don't need to do a right click and then put a debug point. So simply I click here and then I click on the logger. So these are my debug points. Okay. So, and then I can just go ahead and MuleSoft debug console folder and debug. Okay, I'll just go here and I'll run and debug directly. So yeah, so the console is coming up here. So first in the output, you will only see the build logs, nothing more, if I remember correctly, and then the rest of things come in terminal.
Yeah, so debug point is also like you can get from the view option as well. So if you'll open the view option,
Yeah,
uh, from there also you can get it. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Let me check. I had tried it.
Yeah, here it is, debug console. Oh, this is
Oh
view.
no, sorry, it is in run option. Sorry,
Yeah,
run
yeah,
tab. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we have the debug directly. You can run and debug
Mhm.
it here. So
Mhm.
that's not an issue. So you see this to stop the API and do the replay, I mean restart and everything is here. Uh, so in output, as I told you, you'll only see the build logs. So once it is built successfully, then the rest of the logs will be coming to the terminal instead of coming here. Have I done something, some mistake, maybe unsupported. What was it? SRC main mu. I don't know. Okay, let's see if if it deploys or not, and we can debug and see what's the error failed. Okay, maybe I've done some mistake. I'll go to the Explorer. It is saying something is illegal here. SRC then main new resources def secure properties resources and then property. Is an error. I don't see an error over here. No error here as well. Okay, let's try to understand what happened. Java lang reflect invocation target exception. Illegal unsupported escape sequence near SRC main mule. Okay. SRC main mule. I can't see any error over here. I'm a bit confused now. So just let me. Okay. Let me try to run it once more.
Pratik, do you have the running code? You can replace this with that and just run it. Then
Yeah, I
we'll
mean, if it
compare.
doesn't work, I'll just copy paste the code. And problem is I don't see an error. So what is uh, what is the problem with this SRC main mule? That is what I am not able to understand. SRC main mule and then
Yeah, so by the time Pratik is looking into it, I'd like to answer to one of the question mentioned in the chat. So, yeah, why did we add create, delete, etc. verbs to the employee resource path? Yeah, so to answer this, like if you already know, like whenever we create RAML, it is very important that along with resources, you define your verbs as well. So, what kind of methods you want to create? So, either it can be post, create, sorry, it can be post, right? And then delete, put, all these methods can be there. Okay, but if you are directly creating your application within MuleSoft, okay, Anypoint Studio or ACB, and if you're not defining any method, so it will directly take a get as well. Okay, so I hope like you wanted to know that only whether we explicitly define that within RAML or not, right? So yes, if you're creating RAML along with resources, we need to specify our verbs. Okay.
I'll try
Yeah.
once again to run it.
Okay.
I hope it runs because I have many more things to show after this.
Mhm. So best thing about this like extension thing is like you can uninstall or install anytime you want. So you
Yeah, and
does not
it's
have
like
to explicitly remove that program. Yeah.
it's lightweight for sure. Starting a Saturday morning with errors like this is not really what I want. So let's hope for the best.
So yeah, so our MUnit thing is still not available. So they are yet to push a lot of extension again, maybe for MUnit and other stuff as well. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I wrote the MUnit code, but I mean, wrote the MUnit code, and then I tried to run it, but we don't have the option to run MUnit, and also I tried to
mhm,
search the extension. So yeah,
mhm.
thanks, Subham Charashia, for your nice suggestion. I don't know what mistake I did, but yeah, it's deployed. So let me send a message, and this should be active. So in the postman, I'll send like, okay, Shubham. Oh, just Shubham is okay. And the employee ID may be 1111. And then Priya, and then the employee ID can be maybe 12345. Okay. And mechanic, IT and mechanical. Yeah. So I'm oh, sorry. This is for cloud and not for the local. So I'll go the one with local. So you see localhost 8081/create. So yeah, let me save it. Let me first take you to my Salesforce account. So this is my Salesforce account. I'm going to the accounts object. And in account, if I go like new this week, let me generate a report quickly. So only name you see here is only page one. Oh, there are more. Okay, but it's only reserve and prod if you see. So everywhere. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll push the message, I'll debug, and then we can see if it is going correctly or not. So make a send, and then, oh, sorry, I forgot the debug points. And I think it already created the Salesforce object. I'll show you if it created or not. Let me refresh the page. Priya and so on, you can see here. So if I click the employee phone number, it's phone number, so 12345, and here it is 11111. So if I click on the object, so if I click on the object, you'll see when it was created. So it was created, it's created just now, 11:52 a.m. As you see, 11:53 a.m. is the time now. So yeah. Coming back to the debug, sorry, I forgot to put the debug point, and that's why it created the object directly. So I'll put the debug points, one at the logger, maybe. Yeah, here I need to click. So one at the logger, one at the create, and then I think I have just two things here, and I'll send the message again. So here we can see it is at this point. At the debug, I go next. And here you can see the variables, the mule message, parameters, everything is here. We can just go next. We also have the option to resume, that is F6 here. So yeah, ran it, and it worked. So Shubham and Priya, there should be another object created at 11:53 or 54. So go back to the list. Shubham and Priya. So yeah, 11:52. I should have changed the name actually. So this one, 11:53, if you see. So it got created. So this is how we debug. Next question is it compatible with your Anypoint Studio? So if what I mean to say is, if I just export this code and import it into my Anypoint Studio, will it work? So let's see. MuleSoft export So there are multiple options. If you download as a export the project as a deployable jar, you only able to import it to the Anypoint Studio because it will not have the source files. But however, you can upload the jar directly to the Cloud Hub and it will work. But if you want to get the source code, import it into the studio, you need to go with this option, export Mule application sources. We'll go with it. So it's building. Once it's built, I think it gives the path also. We're in a pop-up over here in the dialog box.
So Pratik, there is one more question related to debugger.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what he has mentioned, I just guess we have to run debugger from Maven and give ports to the debugger and then waiting to stop on breakpoints. Okay. So we don't need to explicitly give the debugger to the Maven. Actually, like we can just add the breakpoint and run the application debugger mode, and you should be able to see the like your flow getting stopped at the breakpoint. Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as I exported the jar source code in the jar, I see that there is a pop-up. It has the shareable jar is exported. I'll just click on open folder, and here is my jar file. So what I need is I need to import it here. Let me just these are the same code, so I'll remove this one. And I'll test this sample. Okay, just leave it. I'll just import it. Okay, packed mule application dot jar and the file name. So where it is here. Sorry, I need to give the full path. So project name, I'll just remove this thing. Finish. So let's see if it works here or not. Because we see only difference we saw was the doc ID. So doc ID was just a hexadecimal for 3 digits. But does it create any issue when we import the code here, or doesn't it create any issue? So let's see. So our code is here already, and let's see if we have the property file which I created. Okay, the property file is here. I don't see any error for now, so I can just run it. Okay, sorry. So before I run it, I need to stop. Okay, it's stopped. Okay, because it's running on the same port. Meanwhile, I'll change the name. So okay. So meanwhile, it is deploying here. Let's do one more thing. Close it. What I want to do is to deploy it to Cloud Hub. MuleSoft deploy to Cloud Hub. Okay, so it created a deploy.json with the runtime, worker size, number of workers, auto start. You can all application. You can change it if you want here and add more parameters. Do you want to deploy with this configuration? It is taking a confirmation. So yeah, let's just click on deploy. Before that, let me show you if it is already deployed or not. So I'll go to the runtime manager. Let's deploy to the design one. And got it. Okay, so there is no application as of now in the MuleSoft business group and the design environment. So let's see. I'll click on deploy. It will ask me a few more questions. So what is the environment where I want to deploy? Okay, it is just giving me sandbox option. So let's go to the sandbox option and see. Okay, there are no applications in here. So I'll say, oh, where it is. Okay. I'll just do once more. Soft deploy to cloud. It resumes. So sandbox. And then let's see what happens. The deployment of has create SF account object has started. Check status in the status bar below. Packaging application. We can see the status over here. We can check the logs over here. I hope it gets deployed. Meanwhile, let's see if this one. Okay, this one is deployed on the port 8081. So I'll just make a call again. Okay, let's make a call and check the logs over here. Creating a Salesforce account object. Okay, we have the first logger, and then I don't have any other logger. So let's see response. Response is true, which means the code exported from the Visual Studio and imported into the Anypoint Studio works really, really well. So the response is here. If you want, you can also see the Salesforce account, if it got created or not. So run the report once more or refresh the report. Saurav and Gaurav, here, 321 and 123. Created at 2 p.m. So yeah, so these are compatible, so we don't really need to worry. So code from here can go there, code from there can come here. I mean, that's really good that we have no compatibility issues. Let's see if it's getting deployed. Is there any question, Priya?
Not yet.
Okay. Meanwhile, we can also go to the cloud and see if it's deploying, you see. So I can click here and see the logs. I hope there are no errors. Okay, it's up and running now. Deployment has started. Okay, this is the whole thing. Okay, so you see the status over here is deployed to sandbox environment and CloudHub is successfully started. So it's really very quick. I mean, it deployed and then the status, success status came here in the same instant. So that's impressive. Let's see. Let me take the URL first. So this is my host name. I'll just take it to the postman here, and then okay, and then I'll just name something else, Pratik, and maybe Rahul, and yeah, maybe some random numbers, and it's 987 and 789 Yeah, it's editor. So then save and send. Hmm. Okay, it's a true. So it should be created. Let's go here and see the log. There should be just one line in the log. Okay. Log took a bit of time to show the log, even if it was created. So creating a Salesforce account object, you see the log is here. And we can just quickly validate. We go here and we'll refresh the Salesforce account to see Pratik and Rahul are present over here, 987-789. And the creation time is 12:05, so which is now. So yeah, that's all I wanted to present you today. So is there any question?
Yes, I think we have Saurabh says like, does it provide choice between uh, Cloud 1.0 and 2.0?
That I've not tried actually. So
Yeah, I mean, according to the documentation, it says like ACB can deploy only to 1.0. Okay, to deploy to 2.0, you have to create a deployable jar file, okay, and follow some procedure steps that are written in the documentation. So I can share you that link which you need to follow to deploy to 2.0. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
follow these steps. And next question from Edward is, maybe I'm mistaken, but I do remember that you cannot deploy to design from local Anypoint. It's only for design center, isn't it?
uh, uh, deploy to design. I mean, design center you are saying, right,
No,
Edward?
no, we see the two environments, right? Design and sandbox. So he says like we cannot
Okay.
deploy to
Yeah,
design.
yeah. We cannot deploy to design. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so let's say, I mean, do we have any more questions? You can mute yourself and ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Saurabh got his answers. So if you want to deploy it to any other, in, like apart from Cloud Up, if you want to deploy anywhere else, we need to explicitly get the jar and deploy it. Okay. So now all those um, like pre-built thing is not still available. So we need to deploy that explicitly. Okay. So I think, yeah, that's all. With that, Pratik covered all the three phases, which is covered under the life cycle of Anypoint Code Builder. Yeah, so thank you all for being there and um, showing up your presence. Yeah, I think if you don't have any question, we can wrap it up. Yeah.